Well, good morning. Happy Monday, March 27th. Wanted to take a few minutes and keep you up to speed on the trends here in the Austin market. We just got some more data in for February. So I want to share some of these numbers with you and charts, and then we'll talk about mortgage rates and how that's starting to impact the market. So this is looking at January and February 2023 in comparison to the last 4 years. So we're the orange line, 2023 right here. You can look back at the last 4 years. You can see the spring is when we have a buildup of inventory, a buildup of buyers. So more and more buying activity continues until we get to early summer. And then it kind of starts to taper off the rest of the year. You get another last little bounce right before Thanksgiving when people buy in the late fall. So the green line is 2019. The orange line is 2023. I like looking at the green line because that's before the pandemic, and we're the orange line. So we're a little below the number of sales that we had back in 2019, but we're trending on a similar pattern. So because the pandemic was really wild and you can see all kinds of swings in there that are different, I'm kind of looking at the 2019 numbers to see if we're trending back to a normal year. So that's going to be looking at the number of sales. This is volume. So this is the price. So price wise, we're a little below where we were during the pandemic, but that's mostly because we had more sales during the pandemic. And so we're trending above 2019 on price, but in terms of volume of sales, but not in terms of the pandemic. Median sales price. This is the one everybody wants to watch. You can see our orange line here is still trending down some. So this is for the entire metro area, all 5 counties. So the price continued to come down. We're sitting around 436. It was 450 in January for the median home price, but not as aggressive as we saw. Again, this was last year when Austin had the big change in price from last summer. So we're down about 114,000 from our peak last summer. But this is 2021 when we had a huge run up. And of course, the second half of 2020, this maroon line here and the purple line. So we're still significantly up over 2020. We're trending back with March, April of 2021. So really, for about the last 2 years, we're about where we were. So March 2021 to March 2023, we're about the same price right now. Average sales price, similar trend, coming down a little bit. I do expect as we get into the spring, that number is going to start to taper more flat. I don't think we're going to go up. I think we're going to go back to maybe being flat, and we might see that the prices will level off based on the activity. Total listings. So this, again, you can see last year when the interest rates rose, we were at historically low on this light blue line. And then as the interest rates rose, buyers stopped buying and the inventory just stacked up until we got to late last year. And then it finally started to sell through, or you had a lot of sellers bring their properties off the market. Again, I want to look at 2019. This is where we normally would start a year with a little more inventory. It doesn't climb as aggressively. It just kind of tapers up a little bit and goes back down. I'm curious if we have something more in line with a 2019. I don't expect a big spike like this because I think interest rates are going to, right now, it seems like they're going to hover in the 6s. So we lost a little inventory. Buyers were buying. The spring's been pretty healthy so far. So buyers usually start the year before the sellers do. They buy up some of that inventory. And then as we get to March, April, we tend to see this line go back up. I'm starting to see that in the MLS numbers now because now the sellers are ready. They're getting their yards ready. It's spring. They want to sell when their kids get done with school. So you tend to have more sellers start hitting the market this time. So I expect by the time we get to March and April, we're going to see the number of listings go up. And then finally, months of inventory. Again, it's not crazy. I mean, we're about 2.5 months of inventory. Historically, that's still considered a mild seller's market. I would say it feels a little neutral right now. Some sellers are having really good quick sales. Other sellers are lingering on the market because either they're at the wrong price or maybe they listed last fall when it was really difficult. Now that they get to the spring, they have more competition and they've been on the market 4 months or so. It's harder to sell. So we've got a real mixed bag in terms of listings. But months of inventory so far is not building up aggressively. All right, this is Williamson County. So again, I'm going to go to median sales price. Again, a little more aggressive in Williamson County, but they're still trending in line with about March, April of 2021, very similar to what we saw for the whole metro area. Average price seeing the same thing. So still a little softening in the market in terms of price. Total listings, though, coming down a little bit. I think that's what's going to help. As listings come down, that's what helps buoy the price and keeps price kind of where it's at. So I think we're going to expect to see, once we get March, April numbers, I wouldn't be surprised if the median sales price is more in a flat direction. I'll show you Travis County here in a second. Months of inventory coming down. Here's Travis County, well below the number of sales we had even in 2019. Sales volume, lower. Median sales price, though, flat. So Travis County, this is mostly Austin city limits, but you do have Pflugerville, Lago Vista. You've got some other communities in Travis County, Lakeway. So you've got some communities in there. Really, our price has been a little flatter. There's more resale in Travis County than new construction. So maybe there hasn't been as aggressive of a price difference. But right now, Travis County, again, going kind of sideways and in line with either September or March of 2021. Average price did come down some. And then total listings just ever so slightly building up, but looking like it's right in line with 2019. Months of inventory, about 2.5. Finally, here's Hays County. So Buda, Kyle, San Marcos. Their sales volume has, or the number of sales has actually trended above 2019. So there's more activity down there. It's also more affordable. So we might be seeing some flight to affordability. Because Hays County tends to be a little more affordable than Travis County and Williamson County. So maybe they're picking up some buyers where some of the more expensive areas are not. Sales volume is up. Median sales price did come down, though. So you've got about a 40 grand price drop between those 2 months. And so it has had a little more aggressive of a drop in Hays County. Total listings are up. And months of inventory still coming down a little bit. But again, that's typical this time of year. They're sitting about 3%. So that's a look at the sales trend activity. Here's a look at the interest rates as of this morning. So this is the 30-year fixed rate mortgage. So you can see as we started February, we were down at about 5.9%. And then, of course, we had kind of this scare that inflation wasn't going to be tamed and the Fed was really going to get aggressive raising rates. And so the bond market reacted, and that drove interest rates up to 7%. And then, of course, Silicon Bank collapsed. And what's happened since then is the interest rate has been volatile, but it's worked its way all the way back down to 6.3% again. So I've talked about this for weeks. If we can see interest rates trend between 6 and 7, I think this year is going to be kind of sideways, but it'll feel like a normal, healthy year. If it goes above 7, I think you're going to see more downward pressure on price and fewer buyers in the market. If for some reason the interest rate goes below 6, I think you're actually going to see more activity come into the market, and it might even create not a buyer frenzy, but definitely enough buyer demand that it could create more competitive offers on properties. Right now, it's trending down towards 6% versus 7, and I think that's something that could get sticky. So we're going to be watching the mortgage rate, but right now, if you're a buyer, this is good news for you that mortgage rate's coming down, and if mortgage rates coming down creates a few more buyers, that in turn becomes good news for sellers. So we're going to be watching all this activity. I hope this data was helpful. Feel free to reach out if you are buying, selling, or investing right now. We'd love to go deeper on this and help you with your sale. Otherwise, feel free to look at this information on YouTube. We're going to be uploading our weekly market trend videos on my YouTube channel, Ryan Kelly Group. Until then, you guys enjoy your week and talk to you soon.